Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean Stacking the Money Green. And as always, give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Daily Juice being brought to you by BetMGM. Use the promo code JUICE. $10 bet turns into $200 in free bets if either team scores a touchdown. Good for college and pro. Restrictions apply. All righty. Hey, not too shabby for a Wednesday night. 3-1 with my college and NBA picks, and of course we got a ton of we got an NFL side, and then we got, was it 3-4 props here? Stay tuned. Of course you're gonna stay tuned. It's a 15-minute podcast. Let's go. All right, get to the recap and then to the picks. You know how it goes. DePaul catching plus 8.5. Only loser of the night as I went 3-1. They got off to an 0-8 start and just never really recovered. Lost 86 to 76. Feels like they lost by more. Either way, they didn't cover the 8.5. Doesn't matter. If you're close, if you're far off, if you didn't get the cover, didn't get it done. Raptors minus 7.5. Tried to tip you off that this line would be skyrocketing. I think it might have closed around 12, maybe even higher. LeBron James decided not to play, a.k.a. ruled out for an ankle. I didn't think Anthony Davis was going to play. He didn't play. Lakers got destroyed. They ended up making it a little bit closer towards the end there, 126 to 113. But again, everyone was getting sick. And again, this just never really had a chance. Although, again, couple garbage threes away from making it a cover. So Raptors minus 7.5, easy enough money. And the easy money train continued. Celtics -1. Again, apologies to the audience. I know the DJs listening, they want to sweat. They want to have some rush here, but it was just business as usual with the Boston Celtics. Just destroyed the Suns 125 to 98. Again, the Celtics team is just they're on fire. They truly are on another level. Not looking to fade them in any sense. Last but not least, Indiana at home against Nebraska, 81-65. Got out to a nice 13-point lead at half and just kind of hung on. Got the 16-point win and more importantly covered the 12.5. Hey, thank you as always, guys, for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/bettingpros, hit subscribe, comment on this video, and you're automatically entered to win an autographed Stephon Diggs jersey. It's just that easy. For today's comment, why don't we go, I've gotten food on the brain lately. Why don't you talk about your favorite holiday food, whether it be an entree, snack, cookies, whatever it is. Why don't you drop your favorite holiday food? That's always a good comment. All right, let's get to the side and then the props. First up, we got Raiders at Rams. I'm taking the Raiders, laying 6.5 at the Rams, 2 units over at BetMGM. First off, this is going to be like a home game for the Raiders. Now, normally I'm always hesitant to take non-conference road favorites, and I'm sure if they don't cover, I'll be thinking about this. But the Rams felt like their Super Bowl, quote-unquote, might have been that game last week against the Seahawks, division game. McVay versus Carroll, a real reason for them to get up for this game. But this game against this Raiders team, I just don't see it. And the Rams passing defense is really falling apart. I know people think Jalen Ramsey, he's awesome, but really their passing defense has been pretty bad, allowing a ton of yards. Last 3 games, they're averaging 301 yards passing per game. On the other side with the offense, you got Wolford is almost 100% going to be the quarterback. Maybe they figure out a way to get Baker Mayfield in there, but man, I mean, Baker Mayfield looked pretty rough when he knew the playbook. I can only imagine what he looks like without any practice time, without any first-team reps. I just don't see it. Wolford's a little banged up, so it's even tough to believe in this Rams offense that much. I think they'll get a couple touchdowns, but it just feels like a Raiders roll, like a 28-17 type game. Rams run defense, which has normally been a strength of their team, that's not really the same now that they have no Aaron Donald. Rams are really struggling to get a pass rush, as you would imagine. And then Max Crosby is having a hell of a year. Him versus the Rams offensive line, I think, is a big mismatch. And then just closing it out, the Rams 2-8-1 ATS so far this season, and they're coming off one of their few covers last week, 27th in net yards per play at 0.73. So not a lot going right for this Rams team. Raiders trying to squeeze into the playoffs, making a miraculous run here. So I'm taking the Raiders -6.5 for 2 units. First prop of the night. I know I just crapped all over the Rams, but give me Tutu Atwell over 23.5 receiving yards. Like this. I mean, I just like the, 25, mid-20s, even high 20s. He's a big part of their offense now. Now, I know they don't have a ton going on for their offense, but he's coming off a 5-target game. I mean, you're going to give this guy 5 targets. He's averaging 31.3 yards per catch. Now, again, incredibly small sample size. I think he only has 6 career catches. 2 of them were last week. But I think I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams fall down, fall behind in this game, and they face some pretty soft zones against the Raiders as they sit back in some sort of prevent defense. So I think Tutu Atwell can get some there. I think also you can just get one deep shot. That's all you need, and you got him covering this 23.5. I mean, again, small sample size, but he's averaging 31.3 yards per catch. You just need 1 catch, maybe 2. I do think they will work some short stuff for him as well. And Wolford, again, likes throwing to the guy. So Tutu Atwell over 23.5 receiving yards. You know what Wolford also would like? I have never met the guy, but he would love some Omaha steaks. If you're watching on youtube.com/betting pros, I got the steak video up of me grilling up that delicious filet mignon with the bacon wrapped around it. The meat, cooking the meat. I'm getting hungry rewatching this video of my grill. Highly, highly recommend Omaha Steaks. The steaks are delicious. The chicken's great. You really can't go wrong, and helps support the program. Maybe I, gave you a gift of, maybe you rode that Austin Hooper bet and you made a ton of cash, or maybe you cashed in some of my other props. It's a chance for you to give back, or perfect gift to your friends, family. Great gift for your boss, father-in-law, guys that you don't know what to get. Everyone loves a great steak, and that's what you get over at omahasteaks.com. They're also offering 50% off site-wide, plus when you use a promo code JUICE at checkout, you get an extra $40 off. I know before it was $30. They've upped it $10. Minimum order may apply there, but omahasteaks.com, promo code JUICE. Help me out, help the show out, and help yourself out with a great holiday gift. omahasteaks.com, promo code JUICE. Next prop I like. Give me Derek Carr over 248.5 passing yards. Like I said, Davante Adams is coming to life. I mean, Davante Adams might be able to get like 120 alone on this Rams defense. And the Rams passing defense, 22nd in the league as far as yards per game. I mentioned earlier about the past 3 games. They've really fallen off. No pass rush. I mean, you're going to put Derek Carr in a dome and give him a ton of time to throw with the receivers he have, in particular Davante Adams. I also think Foster Moreau has a big game. We'll get to him in the D-Gen play. But, yeah, I like Derek Carr to be able to throw on this team. And I think they may need the passing game more than normal. Josh Jacobs keeps playing through this calf injury, and now it's on a short week. I think it's a lot to make catch up to him. I mean, again, it's crazy to doubt Josh Jacobs. I was not high on him coming into the season, not high on him fantasy-wise, but he has been balling out. But I think at some point the running game may slow down a little bit with Josh Jacobs because of the injuries. Next up, bet number 4, Brandon Powell, over 17.5 receiving yards. Again, he is a no-name receiver for the Rams, or at least no name really coming into this season. But now he's getting a ton of looks. 4-target game last week. They use him in the rushing game a lot, which, I know what you're saying. Hey, how does that help you with receiving yards? It just shows they want to get him involved in the offense, which is a good sign for his receiving yards. And a lot of those design run plays can easily turn into like shovel plays or those little pop pass that count as a reception and count towards your receiving yards. So Brandon Powell over 17.5 receiving yards on the Rams. And then D-Gen only play for the evening. Give me Brandon Powell and Foster Moreau anytime touchdowns. Parlay those guys together over on FanDuel. That is plus 275. Like I said, Braden Powell getting a ton of looks. They're involving him in the rushing game, even though he's a receiver. And then Foster Moreau, the Rams have been particularly bad against the tight end as their passing defense. And defense in general is kind of falling apart. I think he could get a touchdown here. It's really just Foster Moreau and Devontae Adams that get the majority of the red zone looks. Spoiler alert, you may hear Foster Moreau in my first touchdown bets that I give out over on the Discord, bettingpros.com/chat. Get in over there. All right, so we're going to recap all the picks. Braden Powell and Foster Moreau parlay anytime touchdown plus 1275. Braden Powell over 17.5 receiving yards. Derek Carr over 248.5 passing yards. Then we got Tutu Atwell over 23.5 receiving yards. And the big 2-unit play for the night, Raiders minus 6.5. The Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders. All right, that'll do it for the show. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros, betmgm.com, promo code JUICE. Follow me on Twitter. Always appreciate that. And, hit me up. I get a bunch of good DMs. You guys really are the best. This has been awesome. And, again, can't say how much I appreciate this stuff. Check out my other podcast, Sports Gambling Podcast. You know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And, as always, don't forget to let it ride.